Hey everyone, welcome to monthly project number 35. The theme for this one is drawing from reference. So at the start of June, I sent out a project brief to my patrons, which included a bunch of reference photos. And the idea is to draw absolutely anything you like based off these references. Each reference image is different in its own way, from a head bust all the way to a full body action pose, poses with attitude. And for those who want more of a challenge, I included a really big piece, a battle scene. Drawing from reference is a really great way to help improve as an artist, and there's a lot of freedom with it because you're only basing it off the pose and only looking at parts of the anatomy or the face structure at that angle and just kind of running with it and doing your own thing. I find it's great practice when trying to capture the energy and the gesture of a pose and then turning it into your own thing. So let's dive into it and see what these artists have come up with. Each month I pick 3 submissions to critique, so congrats to Brandon, Liam and Tulsi. I'll give you some feedback on these artworks towards the end of the video. First up is Jan, and you can see the comparison there from the original reference. You've drawn Nico Bellic from Grand Theft Auto 4. Nico is one of my absolute favourite characters. You've done a great job here, really captured the attitude of the reference there. Really great work, it looks awesome. And Josh has done a really cool character here, looks like a medieval assassin. Looks like the reference has helped a lot. That pose really suits this. And the art looks great overall, this is really good. And Paul has done Aloy from the Horizon Zero Dawn games. This is some top quality work. I really like this. From the line work to the rendering, it's just so crisp. Great job of matching that reference too. Looks amazing. And Sai has done Lou Ferrigno's Hulk. I love this. I think that's great. And this is a good example. You don't have to follow that reference 100%. You've decided to put the opposite knee forward. I think it works really good for this Hulk pose. This looks amazing. Great work, Sai. And Scott has taken on the massive battle piece. It is a big task, there's a lot going on there, and you've decided to do Thor versus Wolverine in an epic battle. That looks really cool. Following the reference well there, you got a really good composition. And Paul has done Constantine. And again, another great example of capturing that attitude. See how the reference can really help in that way. This looks awesome, Paul. It's got a really good mood to it. I love it. And Abby has done Spider-Man 2099. And again, you can do absolutely anything you want with the pose. It's really just a guide using that reference. I can see the top half of the body is really lining up with that, and the lower half is more Spider-Man-like. I love what you've done here, Abby. The rendering looks really good. You've got a really good cel-shaded style. Stephen has chosen Turel from Lord of the Rings. She looks great. This is awesome. It's a very strong pose. I really like how you've done her face as well. You can feel the emotion there. It's really good. And Lucas has done the Joker. I was really hoping that we would see a Joker here. This is really cool. I like the vibrant colors there. He's looking very menacing. You've really captured that there. It's awesome. And Anthony has chosen a female assassin. Done a great job of following that reference, but really using your own style. It's very stylized, and I love that. I especially love the red rim that you've got going on there. Almost a 3D effect to it. That's a really cool technique. I like that. Steven has chosen Adam Jensen from the Deus Ex games. This looks great. Really great job. The likeness, everything's just spot on here. Looks exactly like him. This looks great. Awesome work. And Tulsi has chosen to do the Joker again. This is really good. I like that line work there. The details in the face are really top notch as well. This is great. Awesome work there. Alright, time for the critiques. And first up, we've got Brandon. And you've done Kraven the Hunter here from Marvel. I love Kraven. He's one of my favorite villains. This looks great. You've really captured that attitude, that essence from the original reference here. Now, for some feedback, I'm just going to fade back your image. And I feel like just the original drawing needs a little bit of work there. So I'm just sketching over your artwork, just following the same kind of thing that you've done. But I feel like the structure of the face just needs to be drawn in a way to suit Kraven a little bit more. As in like a bolder, thicker jaw, more of a squared off kind of jawline. So I'm just kind of restructuring the face a little bit more. And just with the eyes, I just feel like I need to add a little bit more of that attitude into them, and I want to be able to see that other eye on his left eye. I really want to see that a little bit more, and both of those pupils could be moved up to look toward us a little bit more as well. So there we go. There's the structure of the face. I've just kind of redone the jawline there, but I haven't drawn the beard on yet. And this is what I wanted to explain a little bit of. So if you look at the original I just feel like with the original, if you didn't have that beard there, the jawline would be quite small. And I feel like it's just followed this reference a little too much. I understand this guy, he's more of a lean guy, but I think he might have followed the reference just a little too closely, as in the way of his kind of structure. Whereas I think it's better to kind of just capture the attitude and essence of him and that angle of the face, but then do a whole redraw and think about Craven a little more and his kind of build. See, with my sketch here, if I go ahead and start to add that beard on top, and I'm going to add a lot more weight to it. So the beard's going to need to drop down a little lower than his face right now. Something like that, and then I'll erase the actual jawline away where the original jaw was, because we don't need that now. We'll give him a really thick, bushy kind of beard, especially when it gets down towards the goatee. There we go, probably something like that. So see how the beard and the jaw are a lot thicker. It's just what I recommend, and the eyes can look up at us a little more. Now I've also done it with the eyebrows. I've changed the entire eyebrows actually. So a good tip for eyebrows with this is probably I would go a little more angry with them. So in your original, they're a little bit too straight on. They're kind of horizontal almost. So, but what we should try and do is go. I usually go like this. So I always think of when you're angry, there's like a muscle here in this section, in these sections of your eyes, and that pushes downward. But then the other part here will stay normal. So I usually go like this and then up. You see that kind of dip? So it's kind of like a little L shape almost. And that's the muscle there that pushes down, whereas this part stays up. That's kind of how I like to think about eyebrows when I do angry eyes. And then it'll go up and then back down and that way. And then back down there. So I'll show you in mine. You can kind of see that shape there already. So I've gone flat there to push down, and then the eyebrows going back up where it belongs, and then back down again here. And that's a good way to do angry eyebrows, something like that, you know. So you can see all the muscles are kind of pushing down in that way. But yeah, anyway, one more tip is I would probably just do that fur a little thicker around the back of him there. So currently yours is going down here and it's going downways, which is fine, but I'm being a little bit picky, and I would probably have it much thicker up here. Even over this side, I would have the fur coming out more like that, and I feel like that would just probably look a little nicer, I feel. But anyway, I'll leave it there. There's your original and there's the new one. Just hope that kind of gives you a bit of a guide into how I would probably approach doing that. Awesome work, Brandon. I hope that helps, and thanks so much for your submission. Next up is Liam, and you've done Wolverine versus Sabretooth. This piece is epic, and you've based it on this setup here. This is the original reference that I gave out, and this was the main scene here, like the clash, and I gave some options, you know, and a clearer look at some anatomy at that same kind of similar pose, same down here. And that's the setup that you went for here, and it works really well. I love what you've done to this whole picture. I'm really amazed by the background, especially the amount of effort that looks like it's gone into it. Just setting up that perspective works really well for this picture here. So amazing work there, Liam. Now for the critique, I feel like the background here is just a little bit too much the same color as these two. So everything's kind of blending together. We need some color separation. So I'm just going to recommend something. I'm going to make everything there blue, but I'll bring back these guys to their original kind of color. And then for these vents, I want to bring them back as red lights maybe. Then I'm adding a bit of a fade behind them just to help separate them from that background. There we go. Maybe something like that for the backdrop. I just feel like it might help separate them a little bit more and maybe brighten it up a little bit. I think it's nice to see it brightened up. And for the characters themselves, I'm just going to see what happens if I brighten him up a little bit more and just add some saturation. Alright, I'm happy with that. I feel like it's more presentable, or it stands out a lot more. Let's just have a quick look at the original and then now. So you see what I mean? I just really want to try and make them pop a little bit more and make the overall picture stand out. And by having a bit of color variation in the background, that's really, you know, separating everybody. Using colors, we're basically just separating everything. So I want to just do one more thing. I've faded that all back because I want to redraw over Wolverine. I just feel like that pose isn't really working for me as much. I'd love to see it done slightly differently. I'll show you what I mean. Something more like that. I kind of wanted to have that arm through. So what it'll do, it'll pass through and behind Sabretooth's arm there, and kind of, you know, they're more entangled now. And I feel like having like a setup like that might make it even a little bit more intense. And I kind of spread out this leg just a little bit more as well. I feel like before, when this arm was tucked over, and I just feel like it all just got a bit cluttered around this area of his pose. So I kind of wanted to free that up a little bit more and spread him out. Something a little bit more like that. But yeah, sorry it's so rough. And one more thing I'll mention is just up here, this shoulder. I really wanted to be able to see that a little bit more. So in the original, you see that shoulder, it's not really showing. I'd rather it pop up and out there. So I really want that shoulder to be popping out. Kind of more like that one there. But yeah, just thought I'd mention. The only other bit of feedback that I've got, I feel like your coloring, everything is kind of just a little bit too dark. The rim lights are good, they're really bright, but the colors themselves, a bit too dark, and there's just not enough contrast between the colors and the black outlines. So if you lightened your colors just a little bit more, show off your line work, that would work wonders. But here it is again without the sketch. Yeah, I hope that helps. I think that's nice, brightening it up like that with all that red and a bit of variation between blue and red for the background, and just a bit more saturation overall. And I think that would work really well. So yeah, thanks Liam. I hope that helps, and I love your work. Awesome stuff. Next up is Tulsi, and you've done Storm from X-Men. This looks really good, really awesome work. You've chosen this reference here. I think you did a really good job of capturing that and using it as a guide. I love that you did your own thing with it. By having her hands up instead of down and straight, and, you know, just kind of using the other one as a guide. That was a really good idea. All right, let's get into the critique a bit. Okay, so I've just done some changes using Liquify, and you can kind of see here, so that's before and after. It's just some proportion issues that I felt like needed to just be fixed up a little bit. One of the main issues that I thought was probably just with the shoulders. So if I just show the original back there, so I've just drawn over where the torso should go, and you can see on the original, the way her shoulders kind of come down are a bit too low. So I'd really like them to come up about here. And same with the chest as well. Everything just seems to be kind of down and a little bit too low. So what I've done is I've lifted it all back up. So it's all up toward the top now. Yeah, you can kind of see the changes there. Same with the legs and the hips. So I've risen everything up. And so overall, just a little bit of proportion changes, that's all. The hands are now a little bit smaller as well, and they've brought up. Her arms seem to be a little bit long before, and then the leg there, I've just kind of warped that so it looks like it's the fabric's lifting and folding over. And her other leg seemed to be a little too short, and the foot was too big, so I lengthened the leg and shrunk the foot. And lastly with the face here, I just kind of fixed it so I pushed her head up a little bit more. You can imagine her tilting her head up and back just a little bit. And it just gives it that more heroic kind of look. And her pupils as well, I just wanted those to kind of look at us a little bit more. So I just realigned those, and a bigger forehead. But as you can see, it's just a proportion change. The way you've done your line work and your coloring is top notch, really nice. That texture is beautiful. I really love the electricity as well, and the background, everything. So I think that that's really all it needed, was those proportion changes. The other thing that I would have loved to see more is just a little bit more detail through the hair. A cool technique is that even if you just want to follow those cell shades that you've done, and I've just got like a darker line above, I'm basically putting an edge or an outline around your rendering. This can be a really quick way to add some extra detail, just some more line work. I feel like the hair just needs to look a tiny bit more interesting. Something like that, you see, because you've already done all the rendering and that looks great. I just would love to see that just a little bit more detail. So yeah, there we go. I think that looks pretty cool. So the original. So when it comes to the hair, there's the original and there's the new one there. You see how I've just outlined parts of your rendering and just a few more streaks with those dark lines. I feel like that just gives it a comic touch, comic look. But yeah, overall, it's just some proportion changes. And yeah, I think that looks much better. Your work's amazing. But that's it. I really love that. Your storm looks amazing. I really like that one. So yeah, and I hope that helps. Thanks so much for your submission. Well, that is it for this monthly project. I hope you enjoyed the video. That was a lot of fun. Reference images are really important as an artist, so it's good to make use of them. And if you'd like to join my monthly project, you can head over to patreon.com/PatrickBrown. Alright, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.